Good evening, boys and girls. Tonight I'm going to read to you Rhino Rhino Sweet Potato, and it is illustrated by Matthew Armstrong and written by Francine Prose. So I want us to think about this book, and we're going to apply all the wonderful strategies that we have learned when we read books and we think about books and what we've read. So first of all, just looking at this and looking at the name of the book and looking at the cover, what do you think it's going to be about? Right now, you could be thinking about it, or you could write it down for great practice. You could pause the video and tell the people around you what you think. First of all, when I see it, I know it's going to have rhinos in it. So rhinoceros, I know that that's a rhino. And then I see a little boy there. But I want to know how on earth a sweet potato has anything to do with a rhino. Because, I mean, I don't see any sweet potatoes on the cover. So I think that's a little weird. But I guess we'll find out when we open the book. So we have to imagine and keep our mind going as we read the book, so we see where it is headed to next. So, in a village far away lived a boy. The name of the village was Sweet Potato. We just figured it out. The village's name was Sweet Potato. So that's where that came in. Our hero's name was Roy. So I'm thinking our hero is going to be the boy here. The way their village got its name, everybody knew. Sweet potatoes were what they ate. Sweet potatoes were what they grew. Sweet potato dumplings, sweet potato pies, sweet potato noodles, sweet potato fries, sweet potatoes on the grill, sweet potato ice, sweet potato candy, sweet potato rice. Man, now I love me some sweet potatoes, but I don't think I've had all of those things they were talking about. So when I look at this page, I'm going to stop and I'm going to start wondering, they said Roy is the hero. So I wonder if this is going to be telling us what happened to make him a hero. And then I'm also wondering, oh man, first of all, I'm a little hungry. I think I want some sweet potatoes. And then I wonder what sweet potatoes on the grill would taste like. I've never had those, and that sounds yummy. So good readers are constantly reading the statements and thinking about what they're reading. And you can write it down in sticky notes and leave it. You know, you could also, if you didn't know all the words, you could look those up, because we have to make sure that we're constantly understanding what we're reading. And so that's where that comprehension piece comes in. They farmed the sweet potato patch all the warm day long. And while they worked, they sang the sweet potato song. Oh, you know Miss Harris loves to do a song. But I'm not really sure. It doesn't tell me the tune of this. So I'm just going to kind of sing it fun. Sweet potato, we love you. Sweet potato, big and tall. Sweet potato summer, sweet potato fall. Sweet potato January, sweet potato June. Sweet potato, hear our happy little tune. Sweet potato fat and strong. Sweet potato dear, sweet potato feed us. All sweet potato here. They love sweet potatoes. So the town is called Sweet Potatoes, and we see they are getting ready to plant them and grow them all sweet potato year long. So my mind is wondering now, what's going to happen to the sweet potatoes? And I really, really wish that it would have given me a tune so that I would have done that song a little bit better. One night, while Sweet Potato slept, a rumbling rocked their beds. A roar like 1,000 freight trains shook the sleep from their heads. Roy ran to his window. What was this racket about? He heard the sound of hoofbeats. He heard his neighbors shout, "Rhino rampage, look out!" Roy began to shiver. He knew a herd of rhinoceroses lived across the river. So look at all of them coming, and everyone's frightened, and oh, they look angry. If they lived across the river, I'm thinking about, why are they coming over? What are they looking for? And I also know that hoofbeats, that's interesting, because that's a new word for probably a lot of us, and that means that it's the feet of the rhinoceros. So the hoofs are the feet, And the beats mean that they're making that sound as they're walking on the street. The rhinos had never crossed before. The water was deep and cold. The rhinos liked to snooze in the sun. The rhinos were never so bold. But now the hungry rhinos dug up the plants and went on eating every potato till every potato was gone. So they got hungry. It also makes me wonder if these facts are correct. So it says that the rhinoceros likes to stay in the sun, and they don't like cold and deep water. So I wonder if those facts are true. And that's something that you could put down on a sticky note as a question, and you could look back and research that later on. At last the rhinos turned around and swam back across the stream, leaving the frightened villagers to wonder if it was just a dream. Only the torn up leaves and vines in the sweet potato field proved that it was no nightmare. The runaway rhinos were real. So they've messed up everything. So you see Roy is wondering, what am I going to do now? Sweet Potato held a meeting to decide what to do. Everyone in town was there. Roy attended too. Everybody talked at once till finally someone said, "The next time the rhinos come to our town, we'll shoot those rhinos dead." But Roy stood up and shouted with a tear in his eye, "Wait, I have another plan, so the rhinos don't have to die." Some people said, "He's only a boy," but others said, "Let him try." So as a good reader, I'm thinking about all kinds of things. That took so much courage for Roy to stand up and want to help the rhinos and come up with his idea and say it out loud. And then it takes courage for those to support him and see what that means. And then you see frustration. You see a lot of emotions here. So a good reader is always thinking about the emotions that are happening in the book as well. By the light of the moon, Roy took a canoe and rowed from shore to shore, singing a brave little song to himself as he lifted and pulled the oar. So you see, he's going to go see the rhinoceroses, or the rhinos. They don't look as mean this time, so I'm wondering, what's he going to do? Roy began to sing louder to keep his shaking hands still, and the rhinos began to listen, as even rhinos will, when a song is clear and true, and sung straight from the heart. Roy sang all the way to the end of the song, and then sang it again from the start. Rhino, rhino, sweet potato. Sweet potato pie, rhino, baby rhino. Rhino, don't you cry. Rhino, don't you worry. Rhino, don't you weep. Rhino, rhino, sweet potato. Rhino, baby, sleep. So he's kind of made them his sweet potato song just a little more special because it's incorporated with him. And as he's doing that, he's building their trust and he's making them comfortable around him. Roy sang his song again and again, trembling all the while until he was almost sure he saw the rhinos smile. Until the rhinos waved their horns and did a silly dance, stumbling and skipping rhinos in a happy trance. So he waited until he saw them smile. He was trembling because he was scared and nervous, but he kept going. So that's that courage we saw him have when he stood up at that meeting as well. In the bottom of the boat were several enormous sacks. Roy lifted them and placed them on the rhinos' backs. So I wonder what's in the sacks. Because now he's gained their trust, and now the rhinos are helping him. He led the herd of rhinos to a place where there were no trees. He patiently showed the rhinos how to get down on their knees, how to use their horns to dig in the ground and root out the brambles and the weeds. Now, brambles is a new word for me, and as a good reader, when I have a new word, I like to think about what could that word mean. So you look around the context and it says root out the brambles and the weeds. Well, when you're planting something, you want to make sure the weeds are gone because weeds aren't good to keep. So I bet brambles are like the little pieces maybe. So you can look at the context clues around you, the words and the pictures to figure out what the word means. And then if you're still confused, You can look that up. So now they're going to plant something. Roy reached down into his sack, all the while singing his song, and took the baby sweet potato plants he had brought along. He laid the plants in straight rows and covered them with sand, then climbed back in his canoe and rowed away from land. It's called rowing when you paddle. It's using an oar. An oar is another word for paddle. So he's helped them plant, and now he's leaving. From time to time, when the weather got dry, Roy rowed across once more and taught the rhinos to carry water from river to shore. Together they tended and watered the plants till the sweet potatoes grew high, and each time Roy sang the rhinos his rhino lullaby. Rhino, rhino, sweet potato pie. Rhino, baby rhino, rhino, don't you cry. Rhino, don't you worry. Rhino, don't you weep. Rhino, rhino, sweet potato, rhino, baby, sleep. See, they're working hard to take that water to go. Now on the other side of the river, the rhinos eat what they've grown, and nowadays on the other side, the villagers have their own sweet potato dumplings, sweet potato pie, sweet potato noodles, sweet potato fries, sweet potatoes on the grill, sweet potato ice, sweet potato candy, sweet potato rice. So, now that he's helped out the rhinos didn't have to die. They were able to grow their own stock over there. And the villagers were happy. So now everyone has sweet potatoes and everyone sings Roy's song. And sometimes it even seems to Roy that the rhinos sing along. So now, see if you can sing that. So he looks happy and the rhino's sitting there. Now he's even taking a nap. So, I hope you enjoyed the book. Good night, Harlan.